Hey guys, welcome back to a brand new episode of PHT TV, and welcome back to another What's in the Box. It's been a while since we've done one of these, but perfect opportunity with the new line of subs coming out. So we are not going to do every sub in the new line. We're going to jump to the 10-inch and the 16-inch. I have the 10-inch in front of me here today, but the 16-inch is on back order, so we're going to get to that one a little bit later. But not only are we going to take these guys out of the box, but I am going to go ahead and disassemble them like you've seen me do on the other subs in the past and show you guys kind of what's inside. Before we dive into that though, let's talk about how awesome this new generation of subwoofers is. Basically what it comes down to is that Klipsch listens. They listen to you guys, they listen to what the customers are saying they want, and they have completely redesigned this subwoofer based on that. Based on all the things that you guys have said you wanted put into the subwoofers. Based on all the things that you guys have said you thought might have been missing. This feels like a complete ground up redesign of the subwoofers. It does kind of look similar, black box with a copper driver, but it is a completely different monster. For those of you that haven't seen the pictures online, one thing you'll notice by just looking at the box itself is that is a different shape. The previous design was more of a square cabinet, whereas this is more of an elongated rectangular cabinet. So first off, right out of the bat, before you see anything, before you even open the box, you're gonna notice that something has changed. So what does this look like? Why is this any different from the previous generation of subwoofers? Well, since the previous generation of subwoofers, what we are looking at is a complete redesign of the cabinet with more internal cabinet bracing, larger magnet structures, deeper baskets, new amp design, essentially everything. Everything is new about this new generation of subwoofers. So before we go any further though, I'm going to discuss each of these components individually, but let's go ahead and get it out of the box and see what we're working with. First thing we see when we pull this out of the box is the box for the grill. This box also contains your power supply, and it also contains your manual. For those of you that have not seen it yet, this is the new grill on the new line of subwoofers. Let me get a little bit closer to the camera here. This is the grill, and as you can see, it is extended. It is not just a shallow piece to protect the cabinet. You can see through it and look through the lights, and we do have a ring that goes around the outside. It is deeper to allow for more excursion of the driver itself. Set this off to the side here. And as with most products of this size, you'll notice that it is packed on the bottom. So what we'll do is we shove it off to the side here, flip it up, and over as such. All right, guys, here we have the RP-1000SW. There is a new slotted port. It may not look that different from the outside, but the port design is completely different on this unit, and we'll take a look more into that when we disassemble it. The feet have been redesigned on this as well. Now, after speaking with Tony Martin, the industrial designer at Klipsch, I was informed that the feet were essentially designed around the concept of spike feet. So if you look at it from the front angle, it's almost like a speaker spike, but with the weight of the subwoofer, you don't exactly want a spike digging into your ground as it's vibrating and going nuts. So here we have a elongated spike. It is a rubber foot, so it doesn't cause harm to any of the flooring types you might have, and just all around a better design for the foot. Then, before we disassemble, let's turn it around back and take a look at the amplifier. The first thing you'll notice when I turn it around is you will see bright white knobs, which is different from previous generation. When you turn it this way, you can actually see there's a magnifier on there, and as you rotate, you can tell exactly what setting you're on. That said, let's go ahead and take this guy apart and see what we got going on inside. Much easier to remove the beauty ring in this line. All right, so we have already removed our beauty ring, so let's take a look at these drivers. You're gonna wanna remove your 6 screws. Once you get to the point where the outer perimeter is kind of about even, you're gonna expect the magnet structure to get past the internal bracing. So what's going to want to happen is the magnet's going to drop down. So if you're ever doing this at home yourself, make sure that you're giving it extra support at this time, mostly at the top. That way when it shifts, you can slowly pull it out, because especially with this redesign, in all generations, but especially with this redesign, these magnets are not light. So from here, these are the pressure clips. So you push, and then you can take those off. All right, so here is the new 10-inch driver of the Klipsch RP-1000SW. You can see has a much deeper basket, huge magnet structure on there, huge magnet. All right, we're gonna set this monster off to the side for now. And you can already see the brand new internal cabinet bracing just by looking in there. This is what's supporting our driver on the inside here. This is what's supporting the magnet. Magnet slides right into this guy. Before we dive into that though, I want to take out the backside of it so you can see the light shining all the way through and kind of see the whole design though. So let's move these screws off and let's talk about this amp. And here we have the RP-1000SW amplifier. So one thing you're gonna have to disconnect still, because we've already taken out the driver, so it's not connected to that, but there is, let me see if I can show you. I'm not sure if you could see it before I take it out. There we go. There is a little piece here, and that is for the LED on the front. So what we're gonna wanna do is pull that out before we can take the amplifier out here. And then the positive and negative terminals will be wrapped around there. And here we have our brand new Klipsch RP-1000SW amplifier. So it is a complete redesign from previous generations. I'm gonna pull in closer because I don't know if you could see it before when I showed you the new knob design, because it's kind of interesting. And the whole concept is that they want you to be able to look over the top and back of the subwoofer and adjust your knobs without having to pull the subwoofer out, which, I mean, this makes it completely, like, super easy to do. So we'll put it down to, let's say 80 hertz right there, and then you have the magnifier on the top to show you exactly what you're sitting at. And then as we change this here, you can kind of see you go from min all the way to 11. That makes it a little easier to adjust without moving the subwoofer away from the wall. Flipping around back here, we have the new amplifier itself. One other thing I want to bring up while looking at this amp is the torture test that Klipsch has done. They custom designed a torture test to put these guys through. And this torture test, as described for me, was the most brutal torture test they could come up with. And essentially they could not pass the sub, any of the subs in the line, unless it went all the way through this torture test. And essentially the torture test that they designed for this was a system of very loud pink noise, non-stop, insane volumes, 24 hours a day for 7 days straight. And in order for them to pass the test, they had to come out completely unscathed from this test. So every single one of these subwoofers, amps, drivers, everything has gone through this torture test and come out on top. So you can be rest assured that anything that you put these guys through at home will not be anywhere near what they put them through in the lab. And let's have a look at the brand new cabinet structure. For this, I'm gonna take the camera off. All right, so this is your inside of the cabinet. So we have this new internal bracing here that goes all the way around the top and bottom of the cabinet. The new port design you can see, they referred to it as an Aerofoil port design. They described it as being designed around the wings of an airplane. It comes all the way from the front of the cabinet, wraps around, and is ported back in the front. So the length of the cabinet is designed around this port, and that is the support that holds your magnet. So you slide the driver in from the front, and the magnet slides into that support structure there. All right, and here's what we look like from the front. So there's where the driver goes in. You pull in here, and you see that's your bracing for your magnet there. Magnet slides into there, and behind that, we have the exit for the amp. And actually, if you look around here, You can actually see the other internal bracing structure there. All right, guys, so there you have it, the brand new RP-1000SW, completely redesigned. You can see a brand new basket, brand new magnet structure, brand new amp, new knobs, new feet, new cabinet, new aerofoil port design, and just an all-around brand new sub. And it is all based on, like I said before, all based on clips listening to you guys and what you want to see, the feedback they've gotten from you, and what you want to see in your new subwoofer. So I think that's all I have for you today, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you again next week for another episode of PHT TV. What's in the box? It's been a while since we've done one of these, guys. It's been a while since I've been on camera. We're gonna do one more take of that. I don't know what I'm talking about. Rectangular shape as opposed to more of a cube shaped. Rhombus, rectangular prism, more of a rectangular prism.